Okay, boys, we've got some key details in today's new sandbox. This is 2.1.1. I know we just had a sandbox rollout, but there was a lot of details that was left off of there. Some things they needed an extra week to actually rework. So first up, guys, Chaos Reach. Tuned Chaos Reach deactivation costs so that it consistently retains super energy from deactivating early. Now, they stated here that previously Chaos Reach allowed players to save super energy when deactivating the super early by charging a flat super energy cost upon deactivation. They say 65%. This meant that in order to save super energy, you would have to deactivate within the first second or so of the super's duration. I don't think that was an issue. I would deactivate immediately after popping my super and still only have maybe 5% of my super. They stated that with this change, Chaos Reach deactivation will now always save you some super energy. Deactivating the super is no longer a flat energy cost, but rather now works on a curve. The intention is to reward players for skillfully timing their deactivation. We'll have to get in there and test this out, guys. Obviously, there is a sweet spot for deactivation if you want to save that super. But pairing something like this with Geomax, if you can imagine deactivating your super but keeping somewhere around 30 to 40% of your super just to get it back up to 80% and run the rest of the way for those Geomax, it's going to be nasty. Now, we're still in the domain of Sandbox. They also fixed an issue where the overshield granted upon respawning in Crucible would not negate damage right away. Increased damage required to destroy Night Stalker tethers prior to their activation. Fixed an issue where the Biotic Enhancements buff would apply too much of a damage multiplier when standing in Well of Radiance. Now, as you know, guys, we did a video a few weeks ago. It was like killing Gambit bosses in 3 seconds. We were taking advantage of Biotic Enhancements, buffing the damage on things like Icolo shotguns while standing in Well of Radiance. Now, Biotic Enhancements is the exotic intrinsic perk found on your Syntheseps. Now, what I'm getting from this, it sounds like it's been nerfed or been removed in terms of receiving extra weapon damage when using Syntheseps in a Well of Radiance. From the text here, though, guys, I wonder if they just mean they toned down the multiplier. We'll have to test this one out. Now, moving on to armor and weapons. Fix an issue where scavenger perks could be used to generate heavy ammo off of teammates who fell to self-inflicted misadventures. That is actually amazing. That's genius. I wish I would have thought of that. Fix an issue where high-impact scout rifles were not firing at 150 rounds per minute. Guys, Jade Rabbit, we're going to be testing it out today. I think it's going to be disgusting. Polaris Lance, things like that. I have a number of 150 round per minute scouts that are in my vault that are very good. The problem with them is they have not been firing at 150 rounds per minute. They are about to be deadly. Fix an issue where the impact stat bar for fusion rifles was not updating when upgrading a charge time masterwork for the weapon. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that one out. What I'm getting from this, if it is a charge masterwork, you're essentially gonna be bringing the charge time down for that fusion rifle, but the benefit is still retaining that impact stat on that fusion rifle. Hopefully, Bungie's not saying that the impact of the fusion rifle will go down as we masterwork our weapon for its charge time. I don't know. We'll have to check that one out. I have a few fusion rifles though with charge time masterworks on them, so I'll compare the impacts for both of those based on its default impact. Gwisin Vest fixed an issue where kills were not required to extend super uptime. Fixed an issue where super was not extended after 10 or more kills. That needed to happen, guys. I played a comp game the other day. The guy popped his super in the beginning of the round in a survival match, and it stayed with them the entire match. I'm completely fine with an exotic like Gwisin's Vest, but it needs to only proc on kills. Chromatic Fire fixed an issue where explosions were doing less damage than intended. Oh, that's going to be nasty. If you haven't tried Huckleberry with Chromatic Fire, give it a try. Or better yet, Breakneck. Reduce the amount of ammo gained from the machine gun scavenger perk to bring it in line with other power weapon scavenger perks. I don't even have a machine gun scavenger perk. Too bad I didn't get to take advantage of it before this. Fix an issue that caused the Black Armory weapons to sometimes roll 2 of the same perk. No! Bungie! Duplicate perks have been replaced in each weapon's talent grid. So needless to say, what that means, guys, we're not going to be getting things like Rampage, like those heavy dealing damage perks will be in the same column. Moving on to Crucible. Fix an issue that caused the mountaintop to drop above appropriate power levels for players who do not own Forsaken, making it unequipped unless pulled from collections. Oh, that sucks. Fix an issue that causes Valor ranks to display different values from what their rank actually was. This is strictly a visual fix. Ranks have worked properly since Season of the Forge began. Moving on to Gambit. Fix an issue where the wrong team would sometimes be credited for killing the Ascendant Servitor Primeval. I thought we fixed that last week. Reduce the amount of ammo that linear fusion rifles receive from Power Ammo Crate and Gamut from 5 to 3. Sleeper Simulant still only receives 2 rounds. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, as bad as Sleeper was, Queenbreaker's bow is worse. Players who die with fewer than 2 rounds of special ammo will now always respawn with 2 rounds to help alleviate special ammo starvation. Fix an issue where players would be held in a loading screen if another player was inspecting items in inventory. That seemed to only happen in the beginning of the rounds. Glad to see a fix for that one. Vanguard. Fix an issue where Protheon, the modular mine, grew 3 times larger than intended in Update 2.1. This strike has been reintroduced to matchmaking and can be launched once again from the director. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. What strike was that? I can't even remember it. Raids. Leviathan and Raid Lairs. Remove normal mode completion requirement for launching prestige mode for Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, and Spire of Stars. So you can just go straight into the prestige. That's nice. Also fix an issue in D2 where we crashed during the Morgoth fight. I think I'm saying that right. I think I always get his name wrong. It's the Big Ogre. Moving on to clans, fix an issue where Hawthorne's Heroes clan perk was not providing the proper rewards. Okay, all that sounds pretty boring. Items and economy, collections. The Hakuba S, Exotic Sparrow, no longer requires annual pass ownership to reacquire from collections. The Mimesis Drive. Sparrow now properly requires annual pass ownership to acquire from collection. Shader reacquisition time reduced from 3 seconds to 1. Yay. General stuff, guys. Prime Ingrams will now appear more frequently for players under 550 power and provide large power benefits when decrypted. Fixed an issue where the Harbinger's Echo Sparrow was locked out for players who destroyed dragon eggs across multiple characters. They're also currently developing a fix for an upcoming patch to address players who have already destroyed all eggs prior to this update. I'm not even sure what the issue is with that one, but okay. Seed of Light has now been added to the drop table of the Blondwell Heroics. Now, the rest of these little fixes are for like triumphs and achievements. Not that big of a deal for me, guys. Overall, we're looking at Sandbox today. I want to focus up on Chaos Reach, 150 round per minute scout rifles, and then we're going to turn around and test out Gwisin's Vest to see how bad it was actually nerfed. And eventually we'll get to Chromatic Fire. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.